Sheldon said that Curtis thought it might have been your best game last night in terms of executing the game plan. What went well for you last night?
Pass, yeah. It's a good pass. I think, yeah, maybe it's the best game for Toronto. Maybe not. I don't know for sure. I feel good in the game. A lot of good moments for Islanders. I feel pretty good and physically, mental. Well, I'm happy.
You mentioned the pass. What did you see on the play?
I see these guys go to the bench. Yeah, this NHL is not working like that. Yeah, you need to get ready. And I'm just try get hard pass to the guys. And Willie, he's got a good tip. And Johnny, he's no chance for Ilya yesterday. Yeah?
What stands out to you about the way Tavares played last night?
Oh, he's great. I think everybody's played great last night, yeah. And offensive zone is guys really played great. Johnny, everybody, you know.
What will it be like to face Shesterkin tomorrow?
I'm so happy. It's a good play against him. Yeah, he's won a Vizina the last season. It's probably interesting game. For me, it's new experience, you know, like against Winnipeg, I got to play with Halibuck, and yesterday with Sorokin. And Shesty is coming, yeah. It's nice. It will be good. It's so fun.
What have you learned from him?
I don't know. He's play really great with the stick, yeah. His stick handle is so nice, and I like it how he's moving in the net. And maybe we'll go to dinner with him, and maybe we'll be spoke. Yeah, spoke against.
You saw he almost scored last night?
Huh?
He almost scored last night.
Yeah, I see. His second time, yeah. He's in the last season. He's been pretty close. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You talked about working a lot with Paul Matheson. It feels like he's getting a little bit better. Have you noticed him moving a little quicker despite getting a little older?
Yeah, no, I think he moves well, and you know he's forced with the puck, and he's really strong on the puck, and shifty in a lot of ways that are kind of underrated. So I think he's doing a good job.
It's hard to believe. He said that he's coming up on 1,000 games. Can you imagine that the guy still looks that way with those miles on his body?
No, I mean 1,000 games is obviously extremely impressive, and you know it'll be a big celebration for him on Sunday, and we're excited for that.
Favorite Tavares work ethic story? We know he's always looking for that little extra kind of edge.
Yeah, he's always in the gym doing stuff, and he's you know getting his gears training going, getting the high knees and stuff like that. So he's definitely very committed and dedicated to his craft.
How different is it feel for you when it's Morgan with you?
It's different in some ways, just in terms of how like he jumps in the offense a lot. So maybe you got to be aware of that a little bit more. He's good on the breakouts. He's good offensively. So it's just kind of trying to figure out who's got what strengths and try to complement them as best as possible.
It's funny, when TJ first started playing with him, he would think, like, I could lead the rush, and then he'd look up and Morgan was already over there. Do you ever have those surprise-type moments when you're with him?
Yeah. Well, I've kind of just decided that it's my role to stay back now. So if we're together, I think I'll let him go unless it's a totally obvious situation.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Sheldon mentioned last night he thought maybe that second period might have been your best of the season. I'm just wondering, what are you feeling in that period? What's working for you?
Just trying to play with pace and obviously, you know, just trying to be direct and especially, you know, a slow start to the game for us. So just trying to get some pucks to the net. Like I said, using you know, our speed as a group and myself. So. And then, you know, an area I've been strong at throughout my career, just getting to the net as well, whether I'm delivering it or other guys are getting it there, and just finding second and third pucks and earning those pucks back and being able to tilt the ice that way. So, yeah, I think there's been good stretches throughout the season, so it was good by our group, and obviously Willie flipped back with me there, so just trying to work together and with Callie to produce some good momentum and obviously got some results. It's great. That's what you want. The more you got the puck in your stick, the more you're touching it. Obviously, it just brings confidence, momentum, and you keep building off that. So yeah, just I didn't really realize or think about it a whole lot, but just trying to play my game and execute when those opportunities are there. Created some things off the rush, through some ozone play, and obviously our power play I thought was positive last night. So yeah, some good things all around, and just want to build on it. Yeah. Like I said, he's one of a kind. He's got all the tricks in the bag, so he always seems to find different types of ways, and it always gives you a little bit of a chuckle just how he can manipulate the opponent or the goaltender, the poise that he has, his ability to rip it. And I think his release has only gotten better over the last couple of years, but obviously just have that soft touch, soft hands when it's needed, and can really put the opponent on their heels.
Have you taken anything from him? He's one of a kind, so it might be tough to steal from a guy like that, but have you taken anything from his game?
I just love, he just has so much confidence in himself, and when things don't go well, or, a period or shift where he doesn't execute on a play, his constant belief and go out there and continue to just play his game and not let a whole lot bother him. And he's extremely competitive. I think everyone sees the work he puts in on and off the ice every single day, and wants to be an elite player and a difference maker. But just his ability to let things kind of roll off his back like that is impressive.
And how do you feel you do that? You've dealt with critics even back when you were starting out, as good as you were, the skating and all that. How did you kind of work that?
Well, that's just always a work in progress. You never have it fully figured out. I think that's just part of the journey, and continuing to adapt and get better at it. But certainly the mental side of it is a big part of it. Just working on those types of things, and the internal conversations you have. Whether it's something you want to focus on throughout the season, or game to game, shift to shift, just how you approach those things. But I know for me, the mental approach is definitely a big part of that.
We talked yesterday about Holl and your work with him. What are you doing better in terms of skating this year? Why do you think you are better?
Well, we just try to be a little bit more efficient and a little bit lighter on my feet. Use the strength and power that I do have, that I know that I have, to just continue to generate pace and momentum in my game, and highlight those strengths. So that was a big focal point off the ice as well. I was working on those things, and then translating that to just being a little lighter, a little quicker, trying to be on top of the ice. We talked a lot about posture as well, so those things have come together, and it's important that I continue to work on those and know the importance of them.
The first time you guys played the Islanders this year, we asked William if this game was still meaningful to you, and he said, "We'll see you on the board that night." Are you still a guy who's got a lot of money on the board when you're playing the Isles?
Well, the guys won't let me off the hook for that, so whether it's me or them, but obviously I played there for a long time, captain and whatnot, so obviously very fortunate to have had that opportunity there, obviously to be drafted there first overall, and big part of who I am in my career, and just being a kid, and obviously I think it was 9 years, so just going through the ups and downs, maturity, thankful for a lot of great times there, but obviously here now, and that's where my focus is, and love being a Leaf.
Considering how well it went last night, maybe not a surprise to see the Lions stay the way they were after the change, but why do you think in general this might be a good time for the duos to kind of get back together?
Well, I think as a player, you just try to be as prepared for whatever the coach or coaches decide to do, and I think Keefer's got obviously a great feel for the group and the guys that we have and the combinations and whatnot, and I think it's a real luxury that we can do that. We can flip things around and still be the type of team and still be dynamic throughout our lineup. Have multiple guys, multiple lines contributing offensively in all areas. So obviously he felt it was maybe after just a sluggish first by the group, that it was a good time to try to find some energy and change things up a bit. And obviously we're all pretty comfortable playing with one another, as we've had stretches throughout over the last number of years. So why it continues, I think he'll have a better answer than me, but I think mostly we just have a lot of continuity because of the time spent together over the years.
Sheldon, why was now the time to kind of stick with the reunited Marner, Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander?
I just thought the way that both lines responded to the change yesterday just tells me it's a good time to go back to that mix. And we've been looking at it a little bit. Previously, obviously, it was the Boston game, I think last week or whatever, however long ago that was now, and didn't feel like we needed to stick with it at that point. But just, I saw myself going back to it, and like I said, the way the guys responded yesterday it tells me it's a good time to stay with it.
Is it just an example of sometimes people going stale with each other? Because on the other hand, you have lines that stay together a lifetime.
Yeah, it's not about that for me. I think the chemistry between the players to me is fine. No matter what you do, I think it's more about how the individual players are playing and monitoring it that way. So I don't look at it as a stale type of thing. It's just sometimes you just need to change the chemistry a little bit and get a little spark. And the season is long and all those kind of things. So. And I just think it's important to maintain the chemistry and the looks both ways. I mean, last season when there was times when Matthews and Martin were really rolling, and we changed it up periodically. So I think it's important that we continue with that and keep the players on their toes that way.
What sort of potential do you see now moving forward for the Tavares Nylander chemistry? We know it's worked in the past, but it feels like William obviously is in a different place this year, and even John.
Yeah, well, that's just it, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's sometimes the lines don't work, and you tend to look at the line itself, but we're talking about elite players, and when they're playing well, it doesn't matter who their line mates are. They're going to play. They're going to find ways to produce and make an impact on the game. And certainly the way Will's playing here now, the consistency that he's bringing, and you can see like last night as an example, where he doesn't have a good first period, but then he's able to fix it and come out and have a great second period. And John just the same. Like that's a really good sign and a very healthy thing for them and for our team, and something that. As I've said to them is that's kind of the difference is, in previous years, maybe that takes 2, 3, 4, 5 games to sort of fix that and get it back going. And this season, the both of them, and certainly Willie in particular, has been able to make that adjustment and just get going quickly.
Speaking of chemistry, what's behind Joey Anderson for Zach Aston Reese?
We just think Joey did a good job when he was here. And, roster and lineup and all those kind of things are fluid and they change, but we thought he did a good job here, and I can't remember specifically what the circumstances were, why we sent him back or what that situation was, but we just like him as a player. It gives us a right shot down there in the bottom six, so I like that part of it. And I think that for Reeser, his game's been a little inconsistent for me, and it keeps those guys on their toes as well. Whether it's McMahon coming in and that's sort of push a guy like Dryden Hunt and Aston Reese. Now Holmberg, like all these guys are in competition for their spots, and whether it's Camp, Engvall, Kerfoot, just the same. You got some guys coming in here that are pushing and showing that they can help us. So I think it keeps that group honest as well.
Was some of that also getting McMahon back with Camp and Engvall, like what you may have liked with him back on that line?
No, it's part of it. I did like him on that line. To be honest, though, it was really having Kerfoot with Holmberg and Anderson for me is more just about giving that group a little more experience. It was just as simple as that. But I probably would be less willing to do so if I didn't feel good about what McMahon has brought in that position. So it goes hand in hand that way. But in terms of why it's set up the way it is, it's more so that I like Kerfoot's experience playing with Holmberg and Anderson.
What did you like about the shuffle on D last night that made you want to keep it?
Yeah, similar to what's happening on forward is, I needed to shake it up, and we're happy with that mix. Holl's done a good job, with Riley, and Liljegren certainly has done a very good job with Giordano. So, Dean mainly felt that was a necessary adjustment and wanted to stay with it. But as we've seen through this time that we've had guys out with injuries and such, that we move things around quite a bit throughout each game. But for today in practice, we just stayed with what we had yesterday.
Samsonov missing the practice, but he was on before, just managing his kind of workload here. As he's
Yeah,
playing
that
more.
yeah, that's it. We didn't want to have him do too much here today, and it's we've been asking a lot of him here of late, but he's feeling good and comfortable and confident in the net and going every other day. So we wanted to make sure today that we were smart.